welcome back to AutoTechNick. We're still on the 79 Centurion restoration. Today, we're back up into the bow. It's gonna be tight, not much space. I got some loose ends that I need to finish up on the forward half of the boat. There's also a couple modifications I'm gonna go ahead and execute on my bulkheads, plus one cool little addition, so we'll get to that here right now. Well, hey, yeah, we're just jumping right into it today. I presume you guys at home are a little bit more comfortable than I am at the moment, but it's what we got to do. So let's talk about what we're up here for. So you can see I'm up here at the forward bulkhead, and I have traced out a window that I'm going to cut into it. Now, when I cut these bulkheads out and had them out of the boat before I installed them, I actually did trace out very similar windows. Almost cut them in, decided not to because I wasn't sure if I wanted them in there. Decided that I was going to go ahead and install the bulkheads, and if I wanted to come back and put these windows in, I could. I have decided to go ahead and place them in there for really aesthetic reasons, but also I think it's going to allow me to sneak in another set of skis so I can run some adult skis in the boat and have them stored, but also I got some shorter ones for the kids, and I think it's going to make it a little bit easier to get the skis just placed in here so they're all not sitting on top of one another. Now you can see that I've already got one of them marked. Haven't done the other side, but I just used a simple compass and went ahead and set the distance and traced it around from the top deck of the boat, the side, and around this bottom. Used some masking tape so I could mark on it and just kind of played with it. I ended up starting around 3 inches, went up to 4 inches. I think I settled on 3.5. Just kind of like eyeballed it, made sure I had, good thickness of the wood so I can maintain strength. Didn't want to get too deep into the tabbing, especially the second layer tabbing. I'm only up here on the first that I'll be cutting that off. So it was really just kind of finding the best mix of strength and aesthetics to go ahead and get that marked out. Just played with it till I found something I liked. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get this one cut out first to commit myself to it and be sure that I like the design that I've cut. And then if I'm good to go and I do like it, I'll just go ahead and mirror it here on the other side. So I need to jump out of the boat and show you what I got to get this cut because space is going to be an issue, and I really doubt that I'm going to be able to fit my jigsaw in here. It's going to be hitting all the sides of the boat. It's going to be hard to work. I'll give it a shot, but let me show you the tools that I'm going to use to try to get this knocked out of here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start by drilling out the 3 corners with the rounded bits. So I'm going to use these spade bits. I just grabbed 3 of them here. I'm going to crawl up there and find out which ones fit closest to the shape I have drawn out. And I'll drill them a little bit inside the line so that way I have room to sand it and kind of perfect the line and shape as I get everything cut out. Now, I do have the jigsaw here, and if I had this wood out on the bench, this absolutely would have been the easiest way to cut it. I don't think I'm going to be able to maneuver this jigsaw. It looks like I might be able to, but I know better. It's gonna be an issue. I am going to try, so I'm going to drill my holes first, and then I can just basically be running the jigsaw to connect the straight lines. I'll do the best I can with this, but my plan B, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up on, is this air saw. Now, there was 2 main reasons why I forked up and bought this air saw and paid the price for the snap-on one. One of them was that it's a direct drive, gear drive air saw, so this thing's got some balls. It cuts some stuff. The second one is you can pull out the normal air saw blade, and this thing takes a normal sawzall blade. So I may go ahead and stuff that wood sawzall blade in there, and it's going to be harder to freehand that and get a straight line, but I know for a fact that I'll have all the space I need to run that air saw and get that cut out. So it's time to get to it. All right, well, it looks like the 1-inch spade bit is going to be the weapon of choice. So we'll get this chucked up, and I guess we're going to get ourselves committed to this because there's really no turning back. So I'll have to do my best to get these lined up so I don't over drill and as centered as I can. And we'll just go for it. There we go. Go figure. Battery's dying. So I've only got it drilled halfway through. I'm gonna stop and see if I can drill through from the back side because I don't want to go all the way through and hit that tabbing and separate that tabbing from the wood. So I can use the same pilot hole, and I'm just trying to get through the tabbing really. I'll tell you what, that tabbing at 1708 sure is tough to drill through. All right, so one down, two more to go. That far one, actually both of these are going to be tight, the drill on the back side, because that sides of the bow rises quite a bit, but I'll go ahead and hopefully have enough battery left on this drill and tackle those as well. Well, I guess that's the shape we're going to go with. Kind of committed. So let's go ahead and see how bad the space is with this jigsaw. So I might be able to, yeah, see, I can't get this vertical one either way. I can get the top one pretty easy and run it that way. This bottom one, not likely. So I don't really think that's feasible. Looks like it's gonna be the air saw. All right. We got our air saw. We got space to get it in those holes. I think this will do the trick. Oh, that's good for the eyes. Not too bad. So I now need to go ahead and I need to straighten those lines up. So I'm probably gonna dig through the tool selection we have and see what's the best way to get that straightened up and kind of just smooth and rounded out. I'm also probably gonna jump back in here and I think I might have enough space to grab my router, roll the edges around on both sides, but I think it's gonna work. So let me dig through the tools and see what I have to get that straight. All right. Learned a little lesson on that one. I probably should have thought ahead a little bit and, you know, grabbed a mask, safety glasses, and some earplugs. But hey, that's all right. So I was looking and honestly, I think just this back to the old oscillating sander. I think that's gonna be probably the easiest tool to get in there. So got the oscillating sander in there. I'm gonna hit that. Got the router out. And I at least will have enough space on this side to hit all of it. Might be a little tighter on the other side, but we'll see what we can do. I do see the irony in this, that I don't have much space up here in the bow, and at this point it feels like I've dragged almost every tool I have up in here, so that's getting better. So we'll just jump into it and see if we can get this straightened up some. All right, it's all trimmed up, routed the edges. Looks pretty good. I'm real happy with it. You can see on the other side, I already got it marked out, so I need to go ahead and get it cut. Now I did actually take the piece that I cut out of this side and kind of use it to help trace out the line on the other side here. So really is what it comes down to is nothing on this boat is symmetrical. I know, big shock. So I marked out the lines in the same method or manner that I did, but then I went and took the piece that I cut out and held it over, and I kind of had to fudge the lines a little bit, and it was kind of a give and take. I wanted it to be the same size hole, but I didn't want to have, you know, this like center support right there be a lot thicker than the other side, because when it's all said and done, that's going to stand out quite a bit more than the size of the hole. So I got it all marked out. No point in dragging you guys through the process of cutting this one out, so I'm going to go ahead and get it knocked out real quick, bring you guys back and show you the final product here. All right, finished up trimming that forward bulkhead, and oof, I am quite happy with how it came out. I think it looks great. Still have all the strength that I had before, and I'll show you here in a little bit. I can easily squeeze 5 skis in here, which is generally what we carry around with us. So I'm really, really happy with how it came out. They're symmetrical, it looks good. So much so that, well, looks like we're gonna have a little bit of a self-inflicted mission creep here. I only intended trimming out and doing these windows on the forward bulkhead, not this rear bulkhead back here, but after getting those cut, I liked it so much. It really makes it, you know, there's a lot more light in there and it's easier to see with those out. I decided for this rear bulkhead, went ahead and drew one out there. I like the shape and style. I gave this one more border all the way around so, you know, we can keep more strength on this bulkhead, but I'm gonna go ahead and knock some out back here as well while I'm at it. I mean, I got all the tools out, I'm here. We're finishing everything up, so we're gonna go ahead, use the exact same process, same steps. I'm gonna get these knocked out, and then I'll show you the final result and what it looks like with the skis up into the bow. All right, so we finished up the windows on the rear and front bulkhead, and I'm really happy with it. I'm glad I decided to go and get those cut out. I didn't lose any strength. I've already kind of crawled on the bow and tested that out. Just as good as before I had the windows cut out. Aesthetically, I think it looks a lot better. There's a lot more light up there. You can see real well, but now you can see that I'm able to hold 5 skis, which is what we keep with us when we're out in the water. So we have just regular combo skis out on the side, got some youth skis here that I have for the kids, and one good slalom ski. Now, once I get the carpet in, I'm going to devise some kind of divider to keep the front tips of these youth skis pushed outward more and off the center ski, so all the skis are sitting in here, and they'll be padded where they're sitting with carpet, but they're not hitting around and beating each other up, which was a problem beforehand. And they also all used to sit here in the center and pretty much were stacked on one another. So now it's going to be quite a bit easier to get in there, grab the skis that you want, and just really make the day out in the water much more enjoyable. So that right there completes the last of the woodwork for the boat. I have one more thing to do to all this wood in the front. Consider that part of this job completely finished, and then obviously I have to do the gel coat, which is not today's task. Now the last task that I need to do to the front of the boat is I need to address all the fiberglass. You can see there's areas where I've ground on it and opened up the glass. It's not sealed. All of this tabbing right here, all of the bulkhead tabbing, really all of the tabbing with exception to the parts of the stringers, I tabbed that in with the vinyl ester resin. Did not use a wax additive, so it's not fully cured. Although it's been here so long, it's actually pretty cured and it's not tacky. But if I were to put acetone on it, it gets sticky versus the cured fiberglass like on the stringer. If I wipe that with acetone, it does not get sticky. So since I let everything sit for so long, you can see I've been crawling around and made a mess of it. I have the open glass. This stuff, you can see it's really rough and jagged. I need to hit those. I got drips in it, these runs. I need to address all that. So I have another day of sanding. I'm gonna take just 40 grit. I'm not gonna try to sand everything perfectly smooth. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get the big ridges, burrs, get everything scuffed up. I'm gonna mix up more vinyl ester resin, and we're gonna go ahead and apply it with a roller, not a brush this time. I even need to get the wood for the bulkheads, especially where I cut my new windows, but even the main part of the wood, there's no fiberglass on that at all. So I need to get everything sealed up, get basically from the foremost part of the bow all the way back here sealed, so that way it's ready to accept our carpet once we get to that point. I'm not really looking forward to crawling around in here and sanding on this yet again, but this is really the last hoorah. This should be the last time I'm doing it, so I think with that thought right there, it's gonna help me push through, get this knocked out real quick, and get this all finalized. Well, it's about 2 weeks later from when I first rolled on that flow coat of fiberglass, and it bit me in the ass. So, long story short, it didn't harden up to a tack-free surface. It was actually quite tacky. It was really bad. I think I had a bad batch of fiberglass. That's all I can think of. I mean, I've been working on this boat for long enough and mixed enough fiberglass. Did nothing different. I've done it through all different temperatures and humidities. I have no idea why it didn't cure up and completely seal up and be tack free. At first it didn't seem like that big of a deal, but then I realized, you know, I got to get another layer of fiberglass over it just so it tacks up and seals up. That's all I'm trying to do. Thank God it wasn't when I was trying to tab something in like the stringers or anything significant, so I wasn't worried about it so much. But it became a pain in the ass because when I put that flow coat on, I started up in the bow and worked my way back. Well, then I ended up with a tacky surface over the entire area, and I couldn't get to the bow again. I had to work my way forward. I just went and bought new fiberglass, started over, and I had to slowly work my way forward to get all the way up in the bow to get it all sealed up. Anyways, not a huge deal, but it's just another one of those things that it's just another kick in the ass. Cost me a couple weeks on the build. It seemed like a simple thing. Here we are. But at last, it's done. It's good. It's sealed. It's cured. I can get on it. So I can go ahead and show you guys the last thing that we're going to do to the boat today. And this one, I've been waiting and itching for quite a while to get it done because the convenience factor is going to be huge. Okay guys, the last thing that we're going to do today, we're going to install this LED strip light kit up under the bow. I'm doing so because it's going to be easy. It's obviously pretty cool, and it's just going to make it a little bit easier to see what's going on up there and give it a little bit of light. It's such a simple and easy install, it's hard to say no, and it's so inexpensive. Speaking of the inexpensive part, don't go buying a fancy strip light kit if you're going to do this. This is a 16-foot kit. It's made for a 110 outlet for like household use. $9 or change on Amazon. You don't need to buy anything fancy, nothing specific for 12 volts, and I'll show you why that is right here. So you can see you got your normal strip lights. I'm sure all of us are familiar with those now. And this is the power module that it plugs into, and that allows the remote to work with it. And I don't really care about the remote and the different modes and the colors, but that all just kind of comes with it. But the key to this, and I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this little fact, but if you look on this AC adapter, you can see right there, it's an input of 100 to 240 volts at 0.8 of an amp. The key to this is output 12 volts at 1.5 amps. We can look at the same thing on this adapter here, and the input should show, there it is up there, input 12 volts, and it has a maximum, that's 0.6 of an amp actually. So this adapter right here actually drops the voltage down from 120 volts to 12 volts. Perfect. All I need to do is it has a basic 2-wire setup on it, so I just need to go ahead and cut this plug off, take this plug here on the back end, and I can wire that up my power and ground. Got 12 volts on the boat. Boom, I'm set. This right here tells me that it's only pulling 0.6 of an amp. That's nothing. I already have lights up on my gauges, so I can just go ahead and wire this up off the existing wiring for the lights on the gauges. Bam, I already got, just like that, bow lights. It's going to take me maybe 20-30 minutes to get this set up, and I am set, good to go. And the remote, and this will still work. Added bonus, I don't really care because we don't run the boat at night where you can really see it. I'm just trying to get some extra illumination up under the bow. So that's enough talking for me. Let me jump under the bow and get this installed. Okay guys, just like I thought, super easy, simple. Boom, we got some lights. We got the remote here, you can see. Horsing around with the colors. I'm not gonna lie, the white that they advertise on these, I'll switch it to the white, is incredibly blue. It's not very white at all. So, you know, switch it to the yellow, looks green. So the colors aren't quite that accurate, but that's fine. I'm really only doing this just so I have a little extra visibility when we're out in the water up there, and also because it was $9 and took me about 15 minutes. Now, I know I can hear you guys at home saying, why didn't I put this in a long time ago since I've been working up under the bow? Truth of the matter is where this wiring or the strip lights went, it was over a lot of the tabbing, so I needed all the tabbing to be completed and sealed before I could install them. So I had to just kind of like deal with the flashlights, which in the end give me better illumination up there. But I had to get the tabbing and everything completely done and sealed before I could install these. I also didn't want to install them because I'm doing so much moving around and banging around up there. I didn't want to knock them down, break them, cause any future problems. So I waited. I will show you guys here real quick. You can see up on the bow, I left the adapter on and just have it plugged into the 110, so I can use them while I finish up the last of the repairs and get the carpet up in there. But let me jump in the boat and I'll show you how I ran the wiring. Pretty simple. So you can see that there's these, it looks like old cardboard rolls they cut in half, and they use those to support the bow. And right up here underneath the dash is where it ends. So you can see I just fed my wire all the way down. I left the controller down on the other end and just ran it around the perimeter. And that used up all of my 16 feet. And like I said, I'll just come back when I'm finalizing the wiring on the boat. I'll just snip this wire. This is my switch for my lights. I'll wire it into there, one of the gauges. Again, it's only running 0.6 of an amp, so I don't need to worry about a fuse or I don't really need to worry about the load it's applying to it. It's far less than any of these incandescent bulbs in the gauges, so we're set. Also, didn't really show you guys, but here's up close. You can see everything's sealed up, dried. It's a lot smoother, much better looking finish. So everything up into the boat from the bilge area forward is finished except for carpet and rigging. So, as I just mentioned, on the next jet boat video, we will be covering the gel coat of the bilge. That's going to be a biggie. That's a big project, and I'm not going to lie. I'm going into that with not enough knowledge and really high ambitions, so hopefully I get a good result. But before we get to that, guys, I've been holding out on you. This channel's named AutoTechNick, not BoatTechNick. I'm buried in auto projects. They're all on hold because I got to get this boat done and out of here. But what does a guy do when he's buried in automotive projects? I got another one. So I drug home another project. I haven't shown anything on any of my videos about this next project. I've had it for a little bit. We've been sitting on the video. It's going to be the next video that's coming out, guys. I cannot stress to you how awesome this project's going to be, how cool the whole thing is going to be, the whole series. I am beyond stoked and excited about this. Really can't wait to share it and get it out in the open. So we're going to take one little quick shift from the jet boat. That's going to give me some time to be working on this bilge and get that all done for you. And we're going to be showing you the next video. So if you guys have not subscribed to this channel, please do. I promise you this next video and the entire build is going to be worth it. If you're already subscribed, thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. We're going to see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.